when we think what will happen with universities in the future, very often we can read and we can see that pendulum goes from one side. You have those who claim there will be no university in the future. We will not need future university as such at all, to those who would say almost no changes, or like more or less that university is as structure safe, and yes, there will be always some changes, but nothing very significant. The society is really changing tremendously. And this is not like this year, this is not last year, this is now for at least for a decade or longer, 2 decades. And the pace of change of society is still much, much faster than the pace of change of universities.
Even when the pandemic will be over, definitively over, we will never go back to the past.
I am sure that the mission of higher education is already changing, and it will change even more in the future. So if we want to see our universities relevant in the future, we need to break that system from inside as well.
To make universities more important, I think it requires a lot of work. But at the same time, universities will definitely need to transform and adapt. That's kind of, if we keep universities as they are, then those who claiming that universities will disappear, it might happen.
University has been a unique institution, and even though in 2030 I will see that we still have the fundamental values of the universities, because otherwise we will not have universities.
In 2030, you want to sustain that. You want to have institutions that have an enormous sense of pride in their historical traditions of self-government, which means that they need to maintain their institutional autonomy of government. They need to be self-governing in the proper sense of being democratic institutions inside, and they need to be accessible to all those who want to seek the delights of learning. And what we need above all is historical perspective, philosophical perspective on crises that at any given moment seem to overwhelm us. And the university is still the great place for standing back and asking, why are we so afraid? How can we solve this problem with knowledge?
Universities must keep is, and where they are also very strongly challenged, is keeping academic values in place, serving truth, finding out what real life looks like. University should strive for academic freedom and autonomy, in a responsible way, taking into account the interests of the stakeholders, but being a free subject, being responsible but free.
This is not the case in which there will be first division, second division universities. There will be university with a mission and universities without a mission. So the last one will lose the game.
Being flexible in responding to the needs of society doesn't necessarily mean to kind of do what let's say the employment market needs, but this rather just means understanding what is the reality and understanding how university can respond to it, coming from the values that we have, coming from the values of the academic freedom, coming from the place where we sustain open and honest debate about knowledge in universities.
We will be the strongest when we can tackle the unpredictable. That's what universities are about. I mean, it's not to plan things in advance and be there. We're here for the unpredictable. We're here for the COVID-24 so that we can react immediately when it happens.
Increased interaction with society, but at the same time, never giving up the fundamental values of the universities, because if we do that, there is no future.